Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be doing a order for a customer of mine. Basically he sent me this Rogal Dorn built and a Baneblade built with some basically the hull variants. So I don't have the true Octo Baneblade where you can change out all the weapons. Basically it's a storm sword and the regular like battle cannon version. Regardless, we'll try to get in here. I'm gonna try to focus on panel lining today instead of tinting the entire model, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm gonna try a little different scheme than I normally would too, so we'll see how it goes. First thing I'm gonna do is base coat the entire model. It was painted before and I did a stripping, so I actually based everything in Vallejo Surface Primer Black. And then what I'm doing is I'm mixing a little black primer in with Vallejo Dark Sea Blue. This is like a greenish blue. It's basically a dark green blue mixed in with the primer to make it a little bit black, but I'm going to base coat everything in this color and we'll work off of that. Next, what I do is mix a little sombre gray into this dark sea blue, 1-to-1 ratio, and what I do is I start to highlight the panels, shooting towards the middle of the armor panels, the middle of smaller panels. I'm trying to fill in pretty much every panel on the model, big and small, and I'm trying to keep the paint out of the recesses in between the panels if possible. This is kind of a value sketch process that a lot of scale hobbyists used. It's really effective for tanks, and you just slowly build up a gradient along the panels to give you a little bit something to look at, and it gives you a really nice effect on tanks, especially ones like a Baneblade where it's just these giant panels with not a lot going on them. I'm just basically working my way around the model, just being careful, but hitting every panel that looks like it's supposed to be hit, and just kind of general on this step with what I'm hitting. Next, I'm gonna basically just use sombre gray now as the third color in the gradient. Just gonna shoot towards the middle of these armor panels. Basically, anywhere that I put the blend of my last colors in, I'm gonna shoot towards the middle of that spray pattern. It doesn't have to be exactly in the middle, but I'm gonna try to fill out most of the middle, make it as smooth as possible, and my gradient change. Again, just working around the models. Big Baneblade, you just got lots of places to shoot, so slowly just working around, and the airbrush does a lot of the work of the blend as well. Next, what I'm going to do is start on my metallics. I mix Vallejo exhaust manifold with black contrast paint. I use Black Legion, just about a drop or two, just to really darken down this metal. And I'm going to base coat pretty much everything that's metallic in this first, and then we'll go in later with some other metallics to highlight. I'm going to be using basically regular exhaust manifold if I need to bring the color up a little bit. I also use Screaming Skull Copper around the model to hit some other details of metallic. Also, I'm going to base coat all of my guns. Anything that I need to do in black, I'm going to base coat those as well. For any of the gold detail, I'm going to start off with Pro Coat Bronze as my base coat, and we will highlight it later with regular gold. Also, I'm going to hold off on the lenses until after I'm done washing the model. I just think it's easier to start from non-washed base coats and then go on from there. It's a little easier to paint a lens and get the look you're looking for. After everything is base coated, I'm going to move on to my wash step. Here I'm going to just use panel lining. So I have my black wash thinned down pretty good to a good wash consistency. Definitely lighter than normal. And I'm just going to press my brush slightly into the recesses and let them fill up with oil. We did keep the recesses somewhat dark to begin with. This is just reinforcing the lines, to be honest. As you'll see, some of the oil is getting around the edges. That's fine. We can clean that up pretty easily. For this specific look, we're not looking to slosh the oil around, which sometimes we After this, I'm just going to apply a black-brown oil to the tracks and to some of the weapons and to the bronze. Basically, just on specific parts, not the panels. I just need to add a little bit of weathering, especially to the tracks. The tracks definitely need it. Now that we have a fully dried model, we're going to cover this model in a matte varnish to lock everything in, and then we're going to use a dry brush with sombre gray to start to pick out the rivets. Now I'm doing a dry brush. Dry brush looks just fantastic on a big tank like this. I'm not focusing on the edges yet. All I'm really trying to hit is the rivets here. I'm also going to start mixing in pale gray blue, which is my highest highlight. And I'm just going to work my way slowly around the model, hitting all the rivets. I will hit some parts of the edges just to get my transition going, but we're going to be doing a lot of line work here with the brush as well. So no need at this point to hit every single edge. We will be doing it with a brush later. Honestly, biggest brush you can use at this point would be best because it just adds a nice softness to everything. And yeah, just work your way around the model, hitting those rivets. Now on the brush, all we're going to do is use the side of our brush with pale gray blue to hit all of our edge highlights here. So I'm going to start off first with the big long edges of the model. They jump out of the model, honestly. We're looking for big panels. We want to hit the highlight on the edge. Nice crisp line, really define it, and it really blends in nicely with all the other work we did before this. So when it dries, it's subtle but clean. And there you have it, pretty quick video here on how to get these tanks done. These are very simple schemes, but that's what the customer asked for. He's gonna apply decals and his stylings later because he doesn't know what he wants yet. Hey, it is what it is, but yeah, really easy steps and easy process to get the tanks done. Again, using it on the airbrush. You could do everything with a brush and a dry brush though. It might take a little longer, but I mean, I did these tanks in like a sitting. It was hot out, so I let the oil dry pretty quickly. So I banged these out really quick, and they're great models. They're great to look at, and they're a lot of fun. And I mean, the Baneblade is like one of the coolest, tanks out there. So always fun to work on it. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.